Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video, I want to explain how items that have cast on or cast when work. Before I get into that though, I'd like to tell you guys that there is another game that I've recently started playing and I'd like to bring to this channel, of course with content. And I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because I haven't played it for long enough and I really want to make sure it's something that I want to invest my time into. If you want to take a guess at what it is, feel free to leave a comment, and be sure to hit that subscribe button in order to be the first to find out what it is. And this does not mean that Diablo 2 videos are coming to an end, and I will keep putting Diablo 2 videos out for you guys. And I will say it is another ARPG, and no, I'm not going back to Diablo 4 because we all saw what a flaming pile of garbage that is. Now, for this video, I have a character here with a bunch of different items that have cast properties on them, and we're going to go over how to capitalize on those and make them part of your build. If you don't know what I'm talking about stuff that, for example, like on this last wish that says 10% chance to cast Life Tap on striking, or charge level 20 charge bolt on attack. And the one confusion that a lot of people have with these items is they'll take like a bone cube, for example, and they'll equip it, and as you can see, 50% chance to cast a level 16 bone spear. Sounds pretty good, but that bone spear, level 16, ends up doing like a couple hundred damage. And when you're doing like thousands of damage, especially in like hell and like your end game build, that doesn't seem like a big number at all, right? But you can make it so that it is. Now, let's take, for example, this Windhammer. So, 33% chance to cast a level 22 Twister on strike. So, how would that work, right? So, let's look here. We are on a druid. The idea is that you want items that cast a skill on the class that has those skills available. So if you look here under elemental, we have Twister, right? So let's put enough points into Twister. It's a level 21 skill, level 22 Twister. So level 22 Twister does 121 damage, which is like absolutely worthless, right? Especially in hell, like that's never gonna kill anything. And you only have 50% chance of casting, which is a very high number, but that aside. So what you want to do to make these items useful so that you can actually do something with it. So level 22 Twister also gets bonus damage from Tornado and Hurricane. So if you were to max Tornado and max Hurricane, now your level 2 Twister does 600 damage, which is 6 times almost as much as it was doing before. So any other class but a druid will be casting level 22 Twisters if they were to use the Windhammer and do only 100 damage because they can't get those synergy bonuses. But if a druid were to use it, then they'd get that synergy bonus. And if that's your plan on getting that, you don't actually need to put any points into Twister. The only reason I did so here is just as an example to so you guys can see the damage of what a level 22 Twister looks like. And let's, for example, here, we're gonna pop a skill thing, put like minimum requirements for like most of these items. All the way to 225, I believe, and the rest in health, whatever. So let's say I want to use this destruction on my druid. Now, looking here, there's 4 different cast mechanics for this. 23% chance to cast a level 12 Volcano. 25% chance to cast a level 23 Molten Boulder. And then 15% chance for Nova and Meteor. However, you're never going to get the bonuses from the Nova and Meteor as if you were, for example, to run this on a Sorceress. Not that you should ever be using Destruction on the Sorceress as your main hand and auto-attacking with it, but that's beside the point. So we want to get our Molten Boulder and our Volcano up. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a point to Firestorm and so we can get Molten Boulder. And again, you don't need points into this, but you're going to need the synergy bonuses after it. So Molten Boulder and Volcano. So our Volcano gets bonuses from Molten Boulder, Fissure, and Armageddon. So to capitalize on both of these, actually, first things we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you. Let's put some items on so I don't die instantly. Okay. Enigma on, which is sweet. And then we have our auto attack, right? So, right now, our Molten Boulder, for example, it said level 23, right? 23. So 26, let's take that off and that off. So level 23 Molten Boulder does 200 fire damage, right? And 200 regular damage and some fire damage per second. So, buff up here, ever, and then find something. Kill. See, okay. So our Molten Boulder went, and then it did a little bit of damage to the Quill Rat, but not enough to like make it worth noting, right? This build's really squishy. I'm not using any proper items, but essentially that Molten Boulder did a little bit of the Quill Rat's health. So now what we're going to do is we're going to synergize Molten Boulder. So it gets damage bonuses from Volcano and Firestorm. So we max out Firestorm and we max out Volcano. And for the same purposes, Volcano also gets bonuses from Molten Boulder and Fissure and Armageddon. Right? So now our level 23 Molten Boulder does 649 damage, 500 fire damage, and fire damage per second is about 500, which is a lot more than it used to do before. Clearly pressing the wrong buttons here, but that's okay. So now we go back to our Quill Rats, and this time it popped Volcano. Really shouldn't be trying to fight elites without here, but I just want to show you guys what the potential of this is. So here, zombies are a little bit easier to deal with, so see if we can proc a Molten Boulder here. Procking everything else, procking Volcano. See, now our Volcanoes are actually doing damage. Again, this isn't crazy. Some of the things that I do recommend are probably like Firestorm for Druid. There we go. See, our Molten Boulder chunked that zombie for quite a little bit of health. Obviously, we're chunking it too, but now you can actually get these cast skills to do a little bit of damage instead of like doing absolutely nothing. Oh, let's not die again. Once enough was embarrassing. But anyways, the point is if you're going to try and make these a part of your build, Destruction isn't a very good one, like Molten Boulder ain't that hot. You can do some nice stuff, for example, with like Phoenix, where it's got like 40% chance to cast like level 22 Firestorm, right? So like looking at Firestorm, gets bonuses from Molten Boulder and Fissure, level 22 Firestorm does 1500 damage, right? That's a decent amount. So if you're gonna go, for example, with a Phoenix, sadly I don't have the shield on this. We're going to go over here. Of course, it had to be the Quill Rat with the freeze. These are immune to fire. Get zombies, that'd be great. See, look at that Firestorm chunking their health, right? Like, I'm just doing 700 damage by like auto attacking them, which is not impressive at all, right? But the Firestorm will actually do damage. Of course, it had to be frozen. I can't hit anything. But you get the point. Is in order for these, once you get enough attack speed and stuff, like let's say you're putting double Phoenix and whatever, you now have 80% chance to cast a level 22 Firestorm. You can get some like fire trinkets in there to increase its damage even, jewels in there to increase its damage even further. Now, the last thing that I do want to talk about, that's out of the way, is there are items that don't necessarily need to have synergies for those effects to be good or helpful part of your build. And you're looking at stuff that doesn't do damage. So for example, Last Wish gives you a chance to cast a level 11 Fade. Level 11 Fade, I believe, gives you something like 50 or 60 all-res. Something like that. Or the same for like Treachery, which will give you a level 15 Fade, which is like 65 all-res, something like that. I don't remember the exact number. But something like that, once it's triggered, you don't need any synergies. And these skills typically don't have synergies anyways. I can't remember if Fade does. I don't really play Assassins that much. But you can use that as a part of every single build. If you're struggling, for example, with resistance, and you make a Treachery, which takes 3 runes that aren't that hard to get, you can even toss this on, rock your Fade, which lasts for 5 minutes, switch it out with your actual armor, and then you'll have Fade with those buffed resistances for the remainder of the duration. This is something that's especially good if you're just getting into hell and you don't have the gear to like really withstand the damage in hell. Other stuff that's very useful is curses. So like Dracul's or Exile or Last Wish that casts like Life Tap. For melee builds, really do help you get that health back. Fortitude, another big favorite for melee classes because the enhanced damage obviously and the other bonuses. But this gives you level 15 Chilling Armor, which whenever something hits you while you have Chilling Armor, freezes them. So as a melee class, that helps you mitigate some more damage, as well as like slow the mobs down or whatever. If you wanted, for example, to use a Bone Hue and like do damage with that Bone Spear, you'd have to put this on the Necro and then synergize everything for Bone Spear and then just auto attack things, which isn't great. So there's a lot of these items that, like, for example, Destruction. The Molten Boulder ain't so hot, the Volcano ain't so hot, but it has a bunch of other bonuses, right? So like you're not necessarily building your build around these specific cast mechanics, but if you wanted to, that's how you would go about doing it. So again, Fade, very good to have. Curses, very good to have. Certain armors, stuff that you don't care about the damage, are always good to have. If you care about the damage from what you're casting, then you need to put it on the correct class, and you need to synergize for it properly in order for it to be effective. Anyways, I believe that pretty much covers it for how the cast mechanics work on these items and how to use them in your build. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. My social media information is in the video below. sorry, in the video description below. If you want to get a hold of me, I'll always try to get back to you as soon as possible. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.